What is the point of ethnic pride? No, they didn't choose it, but nonetheless it is evidently they're a significant part of their identity that's a good enough reason for them. I think ethnic pride is also tied into the pride of things like family traditions and culture. Maybe someone's mother has been cooking particular meals that her mother cooked and her grandmother cooked before that, and maybe stems back to the original country they all came from. Maybe there are family traditions that involve music or holidays or specific foods or stories about ancestors that have been passed down. I think it makes perfect sense to be proud of the people who worked hard to raise you, and the people who worked hard to raise them, and the people who worked hard to raise them, and all of the culture that was intertwined with that raising. I appreciate my background, but I personally believe pride in ethnicity, nationality, etc. is used as a way to enforce otherness to get populations to antagonize each other by the powers to be. Individually, it's not necessarily sinister, but that's the end result when looking at the big picture. People like to feel proud of themselves. Well, let's say you have little else to feel proud of. There's one. You don't need to be right just to be there. Also, if you feel your group is under attack, gathering together and unison are important. It seems like everyone in the world is always trying to find a reason they think they're better than you, so that they can come down on you from whatever pedestal it is they think they stand on. An ethnic background or divisions tend to be a common perch for social rejects who have nothing else to show for in their lives. Not saying this is the reason, but a fairly common enough of one to cause massive headaches in the daily lives for those of us who could care less about playing that game. Tribalism is an inherent state of the human condition. The human mind organizes itself in terms of belonging. Belonging and group cohesion is one of the most fundamental aspects of human psychology. This is not true for other animals. For example, octopuses are profoundly antisocial. Chimps can only function in tribes of up to 100 at most. Humans find great value in in-group out-group dynamics. The human mind has to define who we are and who we are not. Therefore, ethnic groups with shared culture, food, clothing, customs are a great prefabricated unit for tribalism to occur. It is endemic to the human condition. Once you realize this, you see it everywhere: political factions, sports teams, fandoms. The human mind longs for social grouping. I think for some people they were probably indoctrinated into it by their school or society. I had a Portuguese roommate once who every other conversation was just rattling off some stuff about what makes Portugal or Portuguese culture so great. It all sounded like bits that would be taught to elementary school children. Some people are just very chauvinistic because they perceive their culture as in danger regardless of how correct that assessment may be, and so see ethnic pride as a means of coping with the believed threat to their extinction. I commonly see people from smaller countries, for example those in the Balkans, Caucasus, espouse this. Then, being frank, there are the social leftovers who have nothing to be proud of or show for, so they hang on to ethnic identity like it's a great accomplishment. Edit. Removed a bad example and changed grammatically wrong wording in second paragraph. I'm proud because random person X mated with random person Y and produced me. Go team! Gives you bragging rights for something you personally didn't do. Not that different to obsessing over a sportball team, except the violence. I don't know, I'm proud to be Irish because I like our culture, accomplishments, and history as a country. It's not something personal, it's collective. I don't see any negatives to being proud, patriotic, and nationalistic. I mean, oppression is a big part of it though. Like if your people overcame persecution just for existing, then you're gonna wanna celebrate the perseverance of your culture. That includes traditional dress that maybe your ancestors were forced to give up in order to assimilate or be killed, eating foods that maybe saw crops damaged in an effort to induce starvation, music played proudly and publicly that they previously only got to play at home, sung in languages that could only be spoken in whispers. I have a dad who some would consider a hero. He is a very, very good man and did some very, very hard things to save people's lives. I am very proud of him. My grandfather was also a very good man and a great father and patriarch to our family, and he was an architect that helped shape a big booming metro area, and he served in the Navy. I am always very, very proud of him. I also take pride that I descended from two men that I consider to be pretty great. I never knew most of my great-grandfathers, but from what I know of them, they were good men who did some impressive things, and I take pride in the work they did, the things they built, the eyes they changed the world, and I take pride in the knowledge that I am a descendant of theirs and their legacy. Now, extend that pattern back a few more generations, and at some point you transition from family pride, to clan pride, to ethnic pride, etc. It's just a natural extension of being proud of the people that help shape the world and community you live in, and the people who made you. I am proud of my family. I'm proud of my extended family. I'm proud of me extended family. I'm proud of my ethnicity. It's something for people who have no internal sense of identity, so they need to claim some external validation. My family is 2 generations away from the old country. As a young kid, I was aware of some family nostalgia about the old country. But as I grew and gained the ability to think, I came to understand that none of that has anything to do with me. So now I am just that. I exist, and that is enough. Others can try to shoehorn me into whatever group they want, but it's not me. Cheers. I'm proud to be Canadian. We are generally well respected across the world and are seen as nice, friendly, and apologetic. I'm proud of our recent attempts at reconciliation with Indigenous peoples, and while we have a long way to go in that regard, recognizing the amount of harm and devastation that was caused is a step in the right direction. I wonder how many convoyers I just triggered in these 3 sentences. The point of being proud of your heritage is to recognize the good parts of humanity and how you are contributing to a better world. I believe it's equally as important to recognize the bad things that have been done, as that is how you learn and grow. It's stuff like the food you might have eaten if you were 1st or 2nd generation in a culturally diverse country. Clothing, stuff your parents did. It is part of your identity. Plus, when the World Cup rolls around, Canada rarely makes it, and even when they do, I know they won't get far. Except the women, they do well, but my mom is from England and I kinda like HB sauce with my steak. I will cheer for their football club and would love to visit the country. I think because it's something you can't choose, it's easier to feel pride for it. It's easy to feel like these are my people or I belong here type of deal. Humans always want to fit in. Having a group we are born into helps a lot. Other things you can change or choose aren't as easy to be proud of because you know you where other people could easily opt in or out of it. It's cultural. When you appreciate life fully, that usually involves that of your predecessors and their contribution to your existence. The way that they do shit, why they do shit, this feels like asking the question, what's the point of recording history? Sometimes I want to say how proud I was or learn more regarding what's happening today and even compare histories.